Nashville, Nascar 25, and we are first time ever at this track, and we aren't doing good. You see the sponsor goals top 5, that means we had to practice in the top 5, qualify in the top 5, and we went 19th. So I did make an adjustment to Doc Throttle's setup that I use. Instead of doing 13 psi on all 4 tires, I was aggressive and went to 16. So hopefully, I don't know what that'll do. So yeah, but thanks for stopping by. I my last video I said hopefully it won't be a 2 gap, and I think I dropped like 3 or 4 farm simulator games before I dropped this one. But hey, we're here. So this was race 12. After this race, I'll have to see how many races are actually in the season, how many are left, to see how we are going to do, because I've already noticed our biggest mistake. I say our, but my biggest mistake is I am only doing trucks. I'm not doing ARCA, and we're going broke, and we only have 2 trucks, and it takes almost everything we have to do it, and I had almost the entire truck after last race get worn out, so I had to buy a whole new truck. I can only afford to buy the chassis and the body, and we still need to buy an engine and the suspension. So yay! And if we were racing ARCA on the side, we would have had some extra fundage to help with that. As you see, we got a new sponsor, so we'll get a little bit extra money, but we want to get that extra payday by getting in the top 5. So let's see what we can do. Depending on how many races are left, this may be a 2-race episode, or if it helps us get done faster, a 3. So we will see. All right. So hey, we've started 19th. We're now 12th. That is promising. So, and we're not going to pit because I don't think they are. Right? They aren't. And it went from daylight to dark in lickety split. It would be nice in NASCAR 26 if there was a gradual. Because I actually was watching Mike Mootz's video, and he was playing 08, the NASCAR 2008 race in game, and you could actually see the shadows grow as the time progressed. So that would be something that they could bring back. So, yeah. And if you're hearing that, I don't know what's causing that, unless it's just the fact that I Bluetooth my connection from my computer to my Roku TV, because I am not smart enough to figure out how to run 2 monitors. So, if that's audio there, I am sorry. I will try to see if it's possible to clean it up. But I think it has something to do with the fact that I totally wiped out Daniel Hammer. And I owe him an apology. But we are top 5. We got some stage points. We're going to penalize ourselves and pit. And let's go 19. Let's see if that works. We don't need to pit on this, but because I accidentally wiped out Hemrick, I'm penalizing myself. But hey, someone pitted. That's interesting. When we do Xfinity / O'Reilly's, um, we'll improve not improve, increase the length of the race. We're going to do one race at a time. And I have actually some pitting to actually play with the strategy and the realism and the RP. Because yes, I have not forgotten the fact that I was trying to uh, say that how we did in this game, depending on how much money we'd get in the farming simulator game. Um, I still have that save for that flat map, but what was getting really annoying was the modder made that one whole map to where every time I created a new field, it wouldn't do anything auto. So I was forced to, uh, for me, forced to do everything by hand, manually. So instead of having the computer do it, so I can free myself up to do other things. Maybe I will throw that in with the Kinlag or our Elm Creek series and Farming Simulator, and I am just not good at this track. I'm gonna probably have 4 or 5 drivers mad at me in the comments. Obviously the pressure tires was a boon because we're back in the top 10. Made those 2 turns passes relatively clean. Go outside of Ingfinger, try to see if we can't get the outside of Caruth. Somebody's pitting. No idea who that is. Actually, there was 2 cars on the pits, so I wonder what's going on there. Back in the top 5. Oops, sorry, Ingram. Make that 6 drivers mad at me. But yeah. So there are some pits. So this was going to help me where I won't have to pick, but they will. So this should lock up a win for us. And I have to admit that I don't know if anyone's ever going to watch this. Part of the reason why I went from dropping all those ARCA races and then this is I was starting to see some of the flaws that just turned me off to this game a little bit. That's like if someone wrecks, they, they don't pit. They stay in the same spot. And it's always the same drivers. Like I said, Mike was talking on his video that he has discovered on every single format outside of online, the same drivers win the same races over and over. There is no parity. Um, the AI slider settings don't matter because they have the same drivers maxed out, and that they'll win no matter what, unless you, the gamer, have the truck with enough upgrades and the skill to do it. So, but yeah, that's my soapbox. But hey, if you're still here, thank you for watching. Please hit that like and subscribe. That I know that I um, have someone watching. It's nice. Um, I know in earlier videos I say that this is um, therapy for me. Just something I can sit down, relax, talk, try to be funny, and we'd get the win. But it would still be nice to see people are watching. But we will be back for the next race. And we're back at MIS, Michigan International Speedway at Brooklyn, Michigan, the Irish Hills of Michigan. And I consider this home track 1A, Indianapolis was 1B. I grew up in the Northwest Ohio. My first racetrack I ever visited was this race. I've been to 3 or 4 races when I was a preteen. And then when I was a teenager, I got to do a lot on a tour bus at Indianapolis. So I consider those my 2. Though if we ever do the what's the name of that track? There's in NASCAR Heat 5. There was a race that was in Ohio. It was a road course. That's would be kind of my home track too, since I grew up in Ohio. But since there is no NASCAR Cup or Xfinity race in Ohio, I consider those 2 my home because I lived in Michigan right now, and I used to live in Indiana. And now you know some useless information about your host. Qualified pole, practice, had the fastest lap in practice. So last race we were talking about how I am now broke. To the win at Nashville, I had just enough money to buy the best engine available, but left me just enough because I was not smart enough to sell my worn parts to have a level 2 suspension. If I would have sold those worn parts first, I could have had a level 3, but as we can see, it's not affecting me. Because I also forgot to change the settings in the AI. At Nashville, I was not competitive at all, so I adjusted to the AI, and I was just barely compatible. That pit when no one else was pitting did help. And here, because I didn't change the AI, I was better than the AI. So yeah, that's another thing I wish you could change about this game is like, nerf or fix the stupid AI settings. One of those updates, but who am I kidding? iRacing will never see this video, but I still like the game. I have to admit that I was afraid when iRacing got this. I was afraid because I tried doing iRacing, and if you're using a controller on iRacing, you are just trash. And you can only have one view, and that's from the driver's side. And I did not like it at all. So I was afraid that's what this game would be. Cockpit like this, and trash when you are on a controller. As you can see, I'm still trash on the controller, but hey, but iRacing is a whole lot better than my last outfit. So I will not complain about that. But if you're still watching, thanks for watching. Hit that like and subscribe button. That'd be great. I realized that there is 25 races on the trucks. This was race 13. And if my maths are right, that would leave 11 to 12 races left. 12. There was 12 races left. If I did 3 races the next video, then I could do do 4 more videos, and we could start in the Xfinity. And I will definitely keeping the truck series going and reopen our ARCA, and then off camera I will do those races. That way we have the money to actually survive. Thankfully, before this race, I hired a new agent that also cost us some money. But it gave us a 20% discount on all the parts, so it was tit for tat. And we are just dominating MIS. We got the 2 stage points, playoff points. Everyone's pitting, and that means we'll too. And we'll make no adjustments. And will our pit crew get us back on the pole? Awesome. So I do miss not being able to hire a pit crew. I didn't like the Nascar Heat 5 pit crew thing where it's just 5%, 10% increments. I did love NASCAR Thunder 2004, where you had to buy a tire changer, jack man, gas man. I had to buy all that. Engineer, you had to crew chief, and based on how they were, is how good your equipment is. And I need to stop talking. Well, it's my job, but I need to get back to the win because look who's in first. Like we're all surprised. I'm gonna ride him high so I can try to have a little bit better entry on one, and it didn't work. All right, so 5 more laps of this. We will have ourselves yet another win. I wonder if it'd be possible in NASCAR if you could do a setting like they did in MLB The Show. I don't know what year it was, but there was a thing where you started off on rookie, and the better you got, the more difficult the AI got. So if you hit a dozen home runs in like a span of 2 or 3 games, it would adjust the AI, the setting, the difficulty of the pitcher to make it harder for you. But the thing is, I don't know if you started stinking and if it regressed. You had to go in there and change it again. I don't know. It's been a while. Which is a shame that MLB The Show, one game that I do like, NCAA 25, and the NHL hockey game are not on PC. I am a PC guy. I don't have the money to justify paying for those games plus $500-600 for a PlayStation or a Xbox. Granted, if I did, it would probably be the PS5, so I could also play Gran Turismo, which is better than the Forza games. However, I am a big fan of Forza Horizon 5, and I was excited to hear that this year, I believe, at the end of the year, Forza Horizon 6 will be coming out, and they will be in Japan. Finally. I think the running joke for the last 3 or 4 of them was we'll be in Japan, and then the next thing you know, they're in a different country or continent altogether. So that's something to look forward to. Um, for people who like those type of games, I would try to do content on that, but it's just so much. I guess I could go in there and follow along the races for story modes, unlocking the map, but there is just so much to do. Um, Upgrading cars, buying cars, winning cars. So we will see. Things are starting to look very positive for me in the IRL. In real life. And maybe, I don't know. But I got other things I got to do before I start worrying about Forza games and PlayStation games. Maybe if I had 1,000 subscribers, which I'm like 1/5 of the way there. And even those 1/5 of followers don't even watch. I could barely get my kids to watch these. And we won. And that will conclude this episode. And I will do 3 videos. The next 4 races. Words, James. The next 4 episodes of NASCAR trucks will be 3 races each, so we can get this done to where we can start Xfinity, and if I can time it right, maybe we'll be wrapping up the first season of Cup by the time we all watch Daytona. So this has been your boy Cool Groove. Thanks for watching. Hit that like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.